Welcome to the Gordox Pub.
Where the drinks
are free and only as good as your imagination.
But the camaraderie's better.
Okay.
I guess it depends on who you ask, right?
Yeah, your ugly mug's up on screen, just letting you know. Picture of an artist with pencil and mouth. And a third hand when you need it.
The autofocus is having fun tonight.
It's having a seizure.
Yeah, apparently.
I can say that because one of my sons is epileptic.
You can say that because one of your sons is epileptic?
Yeah.
You can say that anyway, just...
Yeah, I would. I just...
What are you trying to say? You're not culturally appropriating it?
That's right. I'm not culturally appropriating seizures.
Well, I had a stepdad that was a grand mal epileptic. How about that?
Oh. There we go. Now you're in focus.
Probably shouldn't be that.
Oh, and now you're not. Oh, now you're in focus. Oh. Wow, it really is just going. It's
right, the autofocus is.
Yeah.
It's going crazy tonight, huh? And...
Crazy.
Nope, that's just us. You can, yeah, like, so you can, I think you can edit the description.
I don't know where to edit the description, so.
You would have to back out and go to the title of this screen and go to edit.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll look at that for next time. I'm just not sure. I looked around a little bit there.
Wow, this drives me a little bit nuts.
Yeah, because you're not in focus.
Well,
it's like I got my beer goggles on.
You think it would?
All right.
And now I move my hand and all right. So here. Yeah, so I understand like if I knock stuff around or
right.
But that's kind of weird without it. So I got a rough rule of thirds sketched out. I'm not going to do a bunch of crazy effective lines just to the center line that I picked. Because it's not it's a little bit of an off angle. And then I'm going to rough it in and we'll figure it out from there.
say you with the power of tabs. If I can check something. I'm either going to crash my system or... Nope, it's looking good. No. Oh, wait. Yep.
Not looking good anymore.
Well, it doesn't appear. Well, I can see the stream. Like I pulled up another tab with the StreamYard homepage, and I can see our show. But when I click on edit, it doesn't give me anything. I mean, it tells me select destinations.
Right.
And oh, there it is. Now I see it. Oh, well, look at that. Oh, that was funny. Apparently, I was typing faster than my computer wanted to recognize, and I typed in and check out. Only got in heck out.
Yeah, well, I have a late keystroke on the word work, which you pointed out.
Yeah. There. Oh, I'd never done that before. And then... So that's okay. All right. Okay. Well, see, it's always fun when you're learning new things.
Interesting choice of words.
Well, it's just one of those things where I never knew how to edit that part of the stream. So yeah, I mean, just getting to do something new is kind of fun. So speaking of the artwork, you want to? Well, okay. So I had a. Well, I had a question if... No, I guess I don't. Maybe I don't have a question. Maybe I'm just dumb. Because now I'm thinking what the answer is, and I was dumb. Wow, my computer's running slow. I don't know what else I can close. Did you see? I think I posted it on Slack. There was a submission call for pitches for a new Lone Wolf. I don't know if they want books or stories.
Like Lone Wolf and Cub?
I don't know if you ever. I don't remember Ian Cub. I remember Lone Wolf. It's a book it has a game. It's like Dungeons and Dragons for kids who don't have friends, and because you could do it all by yourself, and you don't even have to use dice. There's a little chart in the back. You dropped your pencil, and that's what you scored.
Oh, we did that with Dungeons and Dragons. We used a pencil for like our 8-sided dice.
Oh, well. Half the draw for Dungeons and Dragons for me was the dice, so. But
it wasn't for us. It was the role playing.
yeah, but there's something about those dice.
Well, later
Someday
on, like if you're playing in school, you can't be carrying around the dice bag.
Oh, well, we always played on weekends and stuff, so.
Oh, we played everywhere.
And,
Everywhere and all the time.
You know. But I like. My son has quite a few sets of dice now. He likes to play. He likes to DM. I think he'd rather play than DM, but he ends up DMing a lot.
Yep, that's where we ended up. Like a lot of us started off DMing and ended up giving it up because it's just no fun, especially when you're trying to keep control of everybody and keep them in line or whatever. You don't want to be everywhere but.
Right. Okay, so I do have a question about art for you, though.
Oh.
Yeah, well, it makes perfect sense to me. The real problem will be is if I can make it make sense for you.
It makes perfect sense for me.
Yeah, well, that doesn't mean it's going to make sense for you. That's all. So,
right.
if I ask, how are you at graphic design? Like, for me, that's a whole separate type of art than what you're doing now.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Okay.
Like I think the same thing. Graphic designers have they don't have as organic of a concern. I don't know how. Like you're talking about maybe doing titles and magazine dressing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Logos, and I've designed a few logos in my time, but nothing that had to be exact.
Aaron showed up. Hi, Aaron. Let's eat the tat.
Yep, I see.
Yeah, Aaron, I know.
Going back and forth because I'm looking at references too to give me some ideas.
Yeah, I think the Lone Wolf books that I read were Aaron's. So his parents bought him and his brother. They got all kinds of books. So, like, quite frankly, it was better to go to their house if you wanted to read fantasy or science fiction. Half the time, it was better to go there than go to the library. I don't think our library had that good of a selection growing up, or they would have, books 1, 2, and 4 of a series.
Yeah.
You're just like, you don't even own the third one?
Like, it wasn't 1, 2, and 4. It was like 2, 3, and 6 or something like that. And you wouldn't have the first one. You'd have to figure out in between. And
yeah. So, anyway. But the reason I was talking about graphic design, or was wondering about it, was I don't know how involved. I guess, like, eventually you're going to have a cover, and the cover is going to have the title. And
yeah, we'll have to create a title at some point, or hire somebody to do it.
Okay. That's why that's the kind of stuff I was like, I don't know if Rich does that.
I don't have a lot of practice with it, but I do have like I do have a digital program that I can draw digitally and all that.
Okay. Part of that was because I was talking with my wife about how a lot of there are tons of kids that have all these band T-shirts, and they're bands like Nirvana or AC/DC is one of the bigger ones that I see all the time,
Right.
or even like Prince and all this stuff, and yet they can't tell you a single song from any of
Oh
this.
yeah.
Now, that's not all of my students. There are some students who will tell you everything you want to know about the band they're wearing. Okay, so I'm not claiming teenagers don't know music, in case anyone gets this later on wants to misconstrue it. But there are a lot of people that wear band T-shirts that they have no idea about, and
right, they're called posers.
Well, okay, but then I was thinking, hey, wait. That can be the same, the reason why they wear the shirts, I don't know if they're really trying to be posers, but they like the design.
That's a poser.
Okay. But
you're posing as someone that that likes the music because they like the images.
Or they just like the images.
Yes, we call them posers. We're going around in circles here. The bangers call you posers if you're not fucking into the music and you wear their shirts. You're a fucking poser.
Well,
or a first. Could be a punter. And
for me, I'm not saying you're wrong. So
That's
instead,
good.
I will say, I was just thinking about that whole dynamic, and I was like, no, wait, that means people will wear shirts not based off of the content. Like if it advertises a thing, if it looks good, they'll wear it. If it's cheap enough and you can find it, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, some people will.
Right. But I was like, you know what? It's one of those things where, this is some design features that we might want to think about for future reference. That's all. So it's just one of those things that my way too active brain is doing sometimes.
Yeah, you're commercializing already, right?
I am trying to figure out how to privately fund the arts. Thank you.
Privately fund the what?
I'm trying to privately fund the arts. If we're making art, I'm trying to figure out how to fund it.
Hey, you let me know. I'm in on it.
I know. I think playing Dungeons and Dragons in a way influenced a lot of what I think about writing. Because when you're DMing, you're playing to an audience, you're getting instant feedback, but also, the urge to control the reader or the player, it's like, no, you're not going through it right. You just, at a certain age, I was really bad. I just killed it's just like, it's an impossible slog fest because that's fun. What's fun is adventure and there's some pacing there, and that's a lot of the stuff that I think I screwed up a lot in D&D, but it's helping now. When's that, Aaron? Or is that like an ongoing thing? Aaron's saying that he and his brother. Ooh.
I don't know if that's a good saying. He and his brother. Ew. You probably shouldn't leave it off at that.
Aaron, message me about that on Facebook, and I'll get back to you. My spring break starts Friday, so if I can, I'll try swinging up there. Oh. Yeah, my computer is hating me right now. Ooh. Rich, you said you watched Resident Alien, right?
Yep. Watched what I could of it, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. All right.
Wow.
I watched the first couple episodes this week. The we had to buy a new television, which annoys the crap out of me. But so we got a new TV and everything, and you know, my wife has just gone through, you know, has just lost her mom, and I was calling my parents for something, and it kind of upset her. And then we're watching this episode of House, and it's a depressing episode anyway. And plus, I've already seen it, so I was like, "Well, let's watch something else."
A depressing episode of House?
And House.
Are there any positive episodes of House? They're all depressing.
Yeah. No, but
even after he saves the person, he's a fucking depressing little miserable bastard.
Yeah. But so I put on Resident Alien, but you know, like on paper, there is nothing there. Oh, that's not true. On paper, though, the concept is a no-go for my wife. Alien stranded on Earth. That's not going to be my wife's show.
Oh, it's funny as shit, though.
Oh,
my
I
wife's
agree.
not into aliens like that either, but she loves that show.
Well, it's just, I don't know. I mean,
it gets.
But it had Alan Tudyk.
Too.
But I don't think my wife, because I kept saying it's got Alan Tudyk, and it didn't faze her at all. I don't think she knew who it was. And then we're watching the first episode, and she's kind of checking her phone and stuff, and then she all of a sudden puts her phone down. Oh, it's Pirate Steve! And I was like, from Dodgeball?
Scuba Steve.
Like, that's the thing. Not Scuba Steve. This was Pirate Steve. He's the I think it's Steve. The guy, he was one of the guys in Dodgeball. He talked like a pirate and all that stuff. And
he was in that
Alan Tudyk. All the other things I could think.
He was Scuba Steve in that Adam Sandler movie with the little kid that he's teaching all the wrong things.
Oh, well, I
can't remember what it was. Like he's a lawyer or some shit like that. He thinks it's like his kid or something like that, or he's going to adopt a kid or whatever.
But my wife, so we watched the first episode, that's 2 nights ago, and then last night she's like, do you want to watch another episode of Resident Alien? It's like, sure, absolutely. And she and I are both chuckling quite a bit at it, so.
Did you notice that on the beginning when they do the little instruction booklet, it's different every time?
Oh, no, I've been skipping it.
There's a little gag in every one of those, too.
Oh. Well, I guess I'll have to watch that now. Yeah, I can watch whatever's on Netflix of it, so.
It's a funny show. It gets a little politically correct after a while, but you can forgive it for how funny it is. Or at least I could forgive it for how funny it was.
I forgive nothing. Oh. Oh well. You guys have fun.
What's that?
Oh, Aaron was saying they're going to a D&D event in Goshen, but apparently it's sold out as of yesterday.
Yeah,
Because-
D&D sold out a long time ago. I'm old enough to remember it before Thaco. He was on the phone with somebody already. It's funny, he was switching back
for
and
him.
forth between Amanda's cousin and his sister. And his sister got so that she just put a direct to voicemail because he was driving her batty. He'd call her at work every 10 minutes. Probably talking to Amanda's cousin right now.
So, do you remember the question I asked in Slack and you said I was trying really hard for that contest.
Oh yeah.
And I said that I sort of was, if just to prove a point, really. And the more I think about that, like there are certain things I'm thinking, well, that's just bad writing, and that's like there's certain aspects, like things that I'm thinking about writing about it, and then I'm thinking, oh, but would that matter for that contest? Like, does that contest, is it really about the good writing, or is it about the right writing?
Yeah, that's the question, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's really been posed mostly as the latter.
I would say it probably helps. But
Helps. It probably helps.
I would so I would say it there's a much larger zone of acceptable thought that goes one direction on this political spectrum, and it doesn't go that far on the other direction of the political spectrum. Like some of what Jake was talking about, I was even thinking like, well, that's an interesting story. I'd read that. And he was like, if it ever got published, it would be a miracle.
Oh, his story?
Man, my connection is a turd right now. Yeah.
Are you talking about the story he was talking about, his character that's like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you find out who his character is, or what his character is, then it's even more fucking show-stopping. I'm gonna guess that you don't know who that character is.
Nope.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you in the private chat,
All right.
and hopefully he doesn't get pissed.
I'll just pretend like I don't know. Like, what are you talking about? Ha ha! See, I think that would be snatched up.
And that's why I keep telling him to finish it.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yep, that's exactly why I keep telling him to finish it. He's got this really, really elaborate story with the characters surrounding that. You've actually read the opening a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I rewrote the opening because I was going to try to help him get through it. But he wanted something different than what I was seeing, so I kind of just dropped it. I didn't want to, didn't want to step on his ideas because he's had that story in mind for as long as we've known him. He's got a pretty damn detailed outline, and it's a big, thick outline. So
I don't know why. Well, okay, whatever.
Right?
Jake, if you're listening, you should write that book.
Yeah. He's probably not listening, but yeah, Jake, write that book.
Mark, if you hear this, tell Jake.
Yeah. Like, it's amazing, right? The possibilities and
yeah.
he knows the possibilities are amazing. So. There's a whole elaborate thing messing with the mythology of that, right?
Yeah.
Not just the main thing that we just discussed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get into too much giving his stuff away, but I'd really love to see him finish it. There's a lot of conflict going on there, and he's setting it up with the historical events in mind.
Huh. Yeah, we lost somebody. We were too quiet.
Well, we probably lost somebody due to us talking about stuff that we're not going to reveal. We feel cheated because we're not going to tell them.
Okay.
What's that?
I just heard Eli. I think I heard Eli.
Yeah, he said got you.
Something like that.
Yep, he said got you to his mom.
Wow.
Ewa here. Her brother. Ewa still here.
Hi.
New phone.
He's telling you he's got a new phone.
Oh, yeah. Good job. New phone.
He said mom bought it for me.
Long time ago. Watch. Oh yeah.
Long time ago. As in 2 days ago?
That's in 2 weeks ago. 2 months ago. 2 months ago.
2 weeks, months ago. No. A couple days ago.
Okay, shoot me. Tell me about that.
You're going to call Caitlin and tell her sweet dreams?
Yep, did that fair.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
She must have liked that. Did you call Joe?
Had time.
What do you do? You do now. Been watching the new Shogun.
Yeah. I have not. A friend of mine.
That
said
was
it
the
was
question. So yeah,
Oh, I thought you said you were watching. You've been. You said
I
I've been watching.
have been watching, but I said been watching the new Shogun.
Yeah, but I thought you meant like from you. Like I have.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. It ended with a question mark. You didn't hear the question mark.
No.
I thought it was. I thought I made it clear. Did you watch it? You said no, right?
Nope. I have not seen the new one.
Yeah. I just watched the fifth episode because I'm watching it on Hulu,
Yeah.
and they're playing it like the day after or something like that because it's on FX. It was really good, really true to the book until this episode. This episode changed things that were very important in the book. I was disappointed in that, but you know. Easy on that door, killer. Now he's got that phone. He gets his earphones plugged in. Thinks he doesn't have to listen to anything. Apparently, he closes the door hard enough to hear through the earphones, which are blasting. For the most part, it's pretty good. It's just these things.
Okay.
Like, he has a servant that was killed for touching a pheasant, which that's not how it happened in the book. Somebody threatened to kill him because he was protecting the pheasant.
Oh.
But the pheasant, the English hung the pheasants till they kind of rotted before they cooked them. And that's a violation of the neighborhood peace in Japan and could be worthy of death. So this one character was going to die so that he could, Indian son can have his pheasant hung. In this, they just had him die, but in the book, he didn't die. Anjin actually threatened to commit seppuku, and nobody believed a white man would commit seppuku. And he came close, like to the point where he thrust the knife at his stomach, and the samurai stopped him in the book. And it was the point that he was literally willing to die that changed the way that they were looking at him. And it changed the way that he looked at other things because he said something about never feeling so alive on the morning after you almost killed yourself or almost died. But they cut out the he almost committed seppuku, and it's really kind of a pivotal point in his character and the story. And the story's actually it's a milieu story. It's a little bit of a character story too, but
Well, there's hardly ever zero. I mean, it's a mice quotient. Just because it's heavily on the M doesn't mean there's no I, C, or E.
well,
I mean,
so
less.
the quotient isn't about the elements of the story, it's about the framework of the story.
Right, but
Which is why I called it a milieu story, because it is the framework of a milieu story. Somebody from a different place comes to some place that they're not familiar with, and the story ends when they decide to stay or leave, right? That's the way the mice quotient is supposed to work. But the character really does change because he changes from a Western way of thinking to an Eastern way of thinking. You like he accept that Eastern way of thinking, which that scene kind of is pivotal to how his character changes because of that, you know. Which is why I was disappointed that they changed it, especially, you know, given that it was so important to the formation of or the changing of the character. It has nothing to do with it being one of my favorite books either. It's pretty much the only book of fiction that I would say has changed my way of thinking or my way of living. Because some of the concepts that are introduced there are kind of brilliant, you know, but it's something that we wouldn't think of because our society is not like that society. So, does the scene give you any ideas because of the way it's illustrated at the moment?
No.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Well, I don't know. I'm not on that page. I was on the reference page.
Oh. No, I can see it just like, I mean, it's. It might be bigger on my screen than it is in real life.
It probably is.
Yeah.
Because
Now
this is a regular piece of typing paper.
yeah.
I just don't know focus-wise.
Well, I would point, but you can't see that.
Clarity-wise.
Hey, do you know what two-factor authentication is, right?
Yes.
Okay. So in the original script I sent you, I was keeping everything relatively separate, but then I was thinking kind of around, two-factor authentication. How one carrier might have kind of the formula, but you need the other piece for them all to work. And the other piece would be the person that they're extracting. Huh.
Why did I do that?
I don't know.
Apparently, the pencil just wanted to leave the section. really been thinking a lot about how much I could get away with cartooning, where it's like you're still following the rules of perspective and all that, but it can be looser.
Okay, I have a question. Well, crap. I apologize if this ever comes out later on. Who's the Cyber Frog guy?
Ethan Van Sciver?
Thank you. I could not think of his name. In that one video where he's the first critique of, or the critique of Isom, number one, I guess.
Yep.
He was talking about somehow you want people looking at least one character looking at the reader.
No, he was talking about a cover
Okay.
or splash page. This is not. This is a panel.
Okay.
And he's turning his head over his shoulder.
Okay, first off, if you think I'm going to critique, I'm not, because you're way better than me. I was saying...
Well, that's good, because this is basically a sketch laying out an idea.
Okay.
It's a panel, not a full page.
Okay.
And like I said, this character is turning his head to face over his shoulder. He's pushing this character along and looking over his shoulder.
Yeah.
That's why I asked if you could see it.
Well, I can. And the looking over the shoulder, yeah, I guess, I was just curious how far that went. And I don't know. So.
So I don't think his critique was, mostly his critique was right on.
Okay.
But there are different schools of thought of how to create panels and panel flow.
So you're saying it's not gospel. It's just
Yeah, it's not gospel, but it's not bad advice to keep in mind when you're going.
Right.
He is a professional. He's been doing it for 30 years, so.
Okay.
But there are other professionals that design their pages in different ways. One of the guys he has working for him actually gave me this idea, because this isn't like I'm not drawing a panel on the page. I'm drawing a sketch so that I can get the feel of that panel, the way that I want it to feel. So I get this kind of scene in my head. Then I can perfect it a little bit. Then I can enlarge it and, put it down and then get the details in there after.
Well, like you're talking about how he's looking back over his shoulder. I think that's a great. That's a little. There's story there, because who's he looking at?
Right.
Why is he looking over his shoulder? So.
Well, we know why he's looking over his shoulder.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm saying visually, without knowing anything else, you can look at that and say there's a little bit of drama going on there.
Right. You should know that there is something happening purposefully in the panel. And
right.
He's not only looking over his shoulder, he's pushing the person that's smaller than him and better cloaked, better covered, forward towards the darkened doorway. They're in an alley, you know what I mean? So, what I'm trying to do is when you introduced the 3-page idea that you introduced, a couple of the shots were establishing shots.
Yep.
This is pretty much a middle establishing shot. So you would maybe do a picture overall of the down shot to a city or something. You could, or you don't have to, but I was thinking if we have a panel that's got action opening it, like it seems like there's nothing going on here, but he's looking out for something, then the next panel can be a closer up as they get closer to this doorway. Something can be waiting in that doorway. There's plenty of options. How many panels are going to put on a page? How big are the panels going to be? Like this isn't necessarily guaranteed to be this size. It could be smaller. It could be larger.
Okay.
It just depends on what the story feel is. Um, I just wanted a setting, and to feel like something is going on in a setting enough to give you ideas, maybe to get the juices flowing. Like I'm not really clear. I'm not being very clear on these characters right now. One of them is totally shrouded. That is the point, because that's the one that he's escorting, and him being kind of a bodyguard escort type of person. And he's looking over his shoulder. We've got a small light source here, so it's throwing shadows from here, but then there's an overhead light source too. I don't know how much I want to overdo it, like I want to be careful not to overdo it. But I want you to be able to read what's happening in the panel. Like, this is an in-between place. I even actually have a couple of ideas for establishing shots or an establishing shot before this panel that would be more expansive of the area they're in. And that's why I kind of wanted to do some roughs, because I'm not worried about getting all that detailed into it. That's why I was talking about ruins, because we're not. Settled into anything. And we could have two figures walking along. With a bigger shot. And by doing roughs at first, I've got the availability of straightening this all out later on and deciding, where the finishing point is, and just cleaning it up to fit after, right?
Yeah. That one's harder to read.
Well, that's good, because it's only a couple of lines right now.
Okay, good, because that's
what I said was like, there's a couple of little silhouette thingies.
Okay.
That can represent people, and then what I'm doing is noodling around, falling over trash cans that are much closer. Some, broken stuff. Lean to, maybe someone's looking out of it. Right now, it's just a lot of debris, because I want to make it look like ruins. further back that we get, the buildings are going to be less detailed. Right now, I'm just trying to establish kind of a vanishing point and two sides to the road. The debris could be pretty much anything because it's futuristic, and just so long as it looks like something
more. show.
What is that for? Well, for the viewers that are here, God bless you, because this is an amazing stream right now. Ah.
don't know if I'd call it amazing.
Oh, it's fantastic.
You think so?
I think I'm ready for my OnlyFans page.
Well, that makes one of us.
Back to the mines, Rich.
And temporarily.
That's right. You tell that paper who's boss. Huh. Hey, Rich, did you know you're on mute?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I put myself on mute because Eli was really, really having a hard time with it.
Oh, okay. I was
Nope,
noticing.
I kind of warned you. I guess you didn't hear what I said, but
Sorry.
like he was really not being very good.
Okay.
So I thought the best thing to do would be to mute. And he's probably still going to be at it. But I think I got my point across. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is a rough to give me an idea.
Yeah.
Right there. This stuff will be thin lines because it's light, and then you'll get into the thicker lines as you get closer. But this is where you go through and really make sure the perspective is right too. So to look like it's debris and it's enough to look like some ruins that people still live in. So basically got two scenes.
Yep.
Not bad for an hour and a half.
I
I
concur.
think it's going to be a short stream because I don't think it's going to work very well right now.
Okay.
There's no way that I'm going to be able to concentrate with what's going on.
Sorry, Rich.
It's going to just escalate.
That's okay.
I'm gonna
I got
ask
some
you-
ideas now.
And I can talk to you for a minute because you'll understand what's going on. So, all right.
Sure.
Good night. God bless. Much love.
Peace.